India is an ancient land, beautiful land known as Hindustan, Bharatvarsha, a land, one of the most ancient lands. Beautiful rivers, grand waterfalls, huge mountains, snow-capped peaks. Today, we shall be traveling to various places in the ancient land of Karnataka. This mandapam, which you see in front of you, is a beautiful mandap of the Sarveshwara temple located at Naregal in the Hangal Taluka of the Haveri district in Karnataka. This ancient temple presently is in a very bad shape. The shikara is broken. Many people, even in Karnataka, are not aware that there are two Naregals in Karnataka. There is one Naregal in the Gadag district, which has many beautiful temples, and there is one lesser known Naregal, which is there in the Hangal Taluka of the Haveri district. We came to know about the presence of this temple through some old articles written by British historians, and very little information about this temple is available in the public domain. As we came out in search of this temple, we found that this temple was located in a very isolated place, and when we reached the gates of the temple, the gates were locked. After talking to the villagers, we were able to obtain the keys, and here in front of you is this grand and beautiful temple. As we can see, the shikara of this temple is damaged. On the left side, we find huge stone inscriptions and hero stones, and on the back side of the temple, we also found many broken, old, ancient artifacts, carvings, idols. Here in front of us is a beautiful carving of a hero stone in which a hero laid down his life in protection of his villagers. Here he is shown along with two nymphs. We can also find some inscriptions written in Old Kannada. At the bottom are certain images which are very badly damaged. Let us try to have a closer look at the image again. At the top, we can find a kumbha or a pot. In fact, there are three pots at the top. This hero stone is divided into multiple horizontal bends. We can see beautiful carvings. I do not know what these characters mean. The script appears to be Kannada. People say it is Hale Kannada, but I have no understanding. We tried to find out the meaning or the detailing of this from the book written by Benjamin Lewis Rice in here we can see another sculpture badly damaged. Some inscriptions can be seen. In fact, all these images and the stones and the sculptures do not appear. This is probably Lord Buddha or Lord Mahavir. I'm not very sure. It also is also broken, but it is very beautifully ornamented. We can see multiple necklaces. Here we can see the Makara, the mythical creature made on soapstone. There were many other images. This appears to be some Dwarpala or the gatekeeper. All these images probably were part of some temple, an ancient temple, which would have got damaged over a period of time. And now only the broken images remain here. On the right, we also find the image of Lord Ganesha. Here's another person The torso and the head of most of the statues are broken, so it is very difficult to make out what they represented. But the carving and the skill of the artist is very much visible. This, I don't know, maybe this is Lord Vishnu. The viewers will be in a better position to tell me if they know anything about this deity. They can comment in the comment section. These are huge stone inscriptions, also known as Shila Shashana. This one in front of us is almost 8 feet tall and 5 feet wide. It refers to the reign of Western Chalukyan king Tribhuvanamalla Deva, that is Vikramaditya VI, who reigned between 1076 to 1126 AD from Kalyana. It records the construction of the temple of Shiva at Narayangal by Mahaprabhu Kappimaya, the foremost of the thousand of the place, when Mahamandaleshwara Tailappa was governing Banvasi 12,000 and Panungal 500, and Queen Savala Devi, the daughter of Mandaleshwara Jogamma Rana, was ruling the Agrahara Narayangal, which she had obtained from the king for her personal enjoyment. It states that the land belonged to Timanna Joisa, son of Angana Joisa, Sandalya Gotra, Rikasaka, and Ashwalayana Sutra. Here now we have entered the mandapa. It's a very beautiful hall, pillared hall. We can see two different type of pillars. One set of pillars are circular in shape, typically known as the lathe pillars, with a base which is rectangular in shape. We can see latticed window arrangement at the antarala. At the top we have Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh instead of Gajalakshmi. This is a view of the entrance from the Sanctum Sanctorum or the Garbhagriha. One beautiful thing about this temple was that many of these stone inscriptions have been carved neatly on the beams of the temple. On a beam inside the temple of Sarveshwara, it refers to the reign of Western Chalukyan king Sri Bhuvanamalla Deva, dated Chalukya Vikrama year 50, corresponding to 1126 AD. It registers certain gifts of land by Mahaprabhu Dasi Maya, one of the 1,000 Mahajanas of Narayangal, for the temple of Surya, sun, constructed by him when Tailappa was governing Banvase 12,000, and other mandalas conquered by him from his capital Panungal. And when the king was ruling from his camp at Vanagiri Kere, it also records the gift of a land to the goddess Bahalari Chamunda Devi by the 1,000. In another beam inside the temple of Sarveshwara, which appears in the annual report of the Indian epigraphy for the period 46-47. It refers to the reign of Western Chalukyan king Sri Bhuvanamalla Deva, dated Chalukya Vikrama, year 50, corresponding to 1126 CE. It refers to the former gifts by Kappimaya for the god Mula Sana Deva and registers certain gifts subsequent occasion by the Govinda Deva, son of Maya, when Mayurvarman, son of Talappa, was governing. This is the outer gate. At the outer gate we can see a few stones. These stones were installed by the devotees who had donated some goods to the temple maintenance. Here we can see the roof of the temple. It is a sloped roof because of the heavy rainfall in this area. All around the periphery of the mandapa is a seating plan. We find that there are no gaps and there is no leakage in this mandapa hall. Here the top shikara is almost lost. Nothing is remaining. Let us go further back to this stone inscriptions and the hero stones. This is one of the most beautiful hero stone which we found during our journeys in Karnataka. At the bottom we can see this is a cattle raid in which the hero lost his life while defending the cattle of his village. There are 5 horizontal bands. 2 bands have old inscriptions. At the top we can see the hero who has laid down his life. This is another Shashana in which the cow and a calf is shown. Cow is the giver and calf is the taker. This is a very ancient script. The characters are very rude. We go back to the main stone inscription, a huge stone inscription we can see here. The letters are very fine, very neatly made. No space has been left in the entire area, which is blank. 3 mini edicules or temples can be seen above. The donor is shown with Shivalinga and detailing the probably the grants made to this temple. We can see the fineness of the script, how beautifully they have written it. All the letters are of the same size, straight line. I really wonder what was the instrument they were using to write on this difficult and hard stone. This temple has many such artifacts, but unfortunately, not many are aware about this temple at Naregal in the Angal Taluka of the Haveri district. Very limited people come here. Our attention was again and again drawn to the various broken statues and artifacts lying in the temple premises. Here we can again see probably Lord Buddha or Lord Mahavir. I have no idea. Only the head remains. Now we shall be going towards the Antarala and the Garbhagriha. As we move towards the main entrance, on either side, right and left side, we find seating areas on which there are smaller pillars made. These are the seating arrangement probably for the devotees and probably a place where the visitors could see the performances in the temple. The gate portal of the temple, the Garbhagriha is very beautifully carved. It is a different stone, probably sandstone. Here we see the image of Gajalakshmi, in which two elephants can be seen showering flowers on goddess Lakshmi. Very neatly, very nicely carved. This motif of Gajalakshmi was very common among the Hindus, Buddhists, as well as Jains. We have found this motif in many of the Jain temples as well as in most of the Hindu temples. The gate portal has two vertical panels. One panel is having floral designs, flowers, buds, and another vertical panel is having geometrical figures. Lot of attention has been paid to the lower portion wherein we find the image of a deity with Makaras and Kirti Mukha. These would probably have been the Dwarpala, the gatekeeper. Probably is the word, I am not very sure. We can see a coiled snake on the danda of the deity here. On the right side again, we find a similar image. Here again, we find snakes coiled around the danda. We can see makaras on either side. Beautiful ornamentation. Different types of ornaments can be seen here. At the top, the omnipresent Kirti Mukha can be seen. The lion demon, which ate its own body till only the face remained. This particular stone is very atypical of this temple. It is having a pinkish shade, beautiful floral and geometrical patterns. India is a very beautiful country, vast and huge, spread across more than 3,300 kilometers from the east to the west. Multiple civilizations, multiple languages, multiple religions. Everything about India is so grand and beautiful. As we enter the Garbhagriha, we find the statue, the Shivalinga, uh, we found an oil lamp which was burning, and fresh flowers were there on the Shivlingam, which tells us that this place still, this temple puja is still being done, puja is still being offered here. It's a very small place, very limited number of people. I think as per the 2011 census, this particular village, Naregal, had a population of less than 5,000. This is a look of the temple from the Antarala as we look outside. The lattice windows are visible. This says that Sarveshwara temple was built during the 11th and the 12th century, the Kalyani Chalukya style, facing east. The temple consists of a Garbhagriha, Antarala, and an open Sabha Mandapa. It enshrines the Shivalinga. The Bimba of the Garbhagriha doorway has the relief sculptures of Gajalakshmi. Of the Antarala has reliefs of Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara. Stars are seen attached to the door jamb. The Mandapam has Shashana and a lengthy roof. Time to move out the Antarala towards the exit door. The floor would have at some stage lotus pattern or floral pattern, but presently it is all in a damaged condition. Let us again go back and have a look at the roof. The roof has beautiful floral pattern resembling a sunflower. The color, the original color is still retained, and we find a very beautiful sunflower made at the roof. At the entrance also, this lattice window can be seen, made up of a single stone. Here we can see the beam of the roof. There are two beams at the roof. Both the beams have very beautiful inscriptions. However, the handwriting is not very clean. The letter size is different as compared to the inscription on the bigger stone which we saw just outside the main temple. However, it retains the message which the builders of the temple wanted to give to the future generation. This temple is broadly intact even after 900 years, except for the Shikara, which has fallen down. All other parts of the temple are as they were constructed. We, we did not find any sign of purposeful or external damage to the temple. Whatever damage is there is purely because of the natural elements. Here on the left side, we can see half pillars starting from the seating area. At the front is the sculpture of two Nagas. Naga worship was very common among the Jains and the Buddhists. Here, smaller snakes can be seen. There are smaller circles. I don't know what they represent, why they have been made. There are multiple smaller circles and smaller snakes. The snakes are made very beautiful. I'm not very sure, but they tell me something. They resemble the elements which cause the reproduction process, male and female. They look like the male and the female counterpart of the reproductive cells. I do not know. Beautiful mini edicule can be seen at the top with the image of Gajalakshmi. As we move towards the right side, similar mini edicule and a niche can be seen. This is a view of the outside area from the temple. This beautiful arrangement ensures that the mandapa is very airy and sunlight can also come inside, and not much lighting arrangement is required here. This is the mini edicule on the right side where we find the ever present Kirti Mukha motif, and at the in the niche, the area, we find two padukas or two stones, two slippers. The traditional stone slippers were made up of wood called padukas or slippers. These were normally the slippers of some guru or some god, which were to be. Here we can get a clear feel of the roof as well as the construction of the wall. This is a 360-degree round of the temple. We found a very beautiful single stone monolith image of a goddess in this temple. Somehow this image has been taken out and probably not taken care properly. There are various theories. Some say this is goddess Saraswati, some say this is the mother of Lord Buddha, and there are versions which tell us that this is a typical Jain goddess. I have no idea about this image or the sculpture. The only thing which I can see is that it is one of the most beautifully carved images in a single stone which I have seen, having visited hundreds of temples in various parts of India. The curves of the body, the ornamentation, the shape, the size, the polish, each and every aspect of this beautiful image is grand and beautiful. I salute the artists and the sculptors and the people who ordained to get this sculpture constructed. Very, very beautiful, very, very intricate. I do not know how many months or year the artist would have taken to make this grand and beautiful single stone image of this deity. Well, we have seen the entire temple. So once again, this place is called Narigal. This is not the Narigal of the Gadag district. This Narigal is in the Angal Taluka of the Haveri district, the southern part of Karnataka. Hope you have liked this video. If you have liked it, you may like to share it among your friends, colleagues, and family members. Thanks for watching.